Welcome back, everyone, to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into a story that really sent some, well, let's call them seismic shockwaves through the NFL recently. We're talking about that massive 2025 draft trade, the one that landed college football's, most electrifying prospect, Travis Hunter, with the Jacksonville Jaguars. But maybe the most interesting part, almost immediately, the Jags' own quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, seemed to issue this pretty significant warning about Hunter. What do you make of that timing and, well, the message itself?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's kind of the heart of what we want to dig into today. Our mission here is really to unpack the whole picture. Yeah. What's the context behind this huge investment by Jacksonville? What kind of pressure does this put on Hunter himself? And maybe most importantly, why would a guy like Lawrence, a veteran QB who knows all about dealing with sky-high expectations, why would he put that kind of nuanced take out there, so quickly?
Right. And you really have to frame it with the Jaguars' own history, don't you? This is a team, gosh, they've been kind of haunted by decades of almost, right? Near misses, Super Bowl droughts. They've never actually reached the Super Bowl in, nearly 30 years now. Mm-hmm. So this move for Hunter, it feels like more than just a draft pick. It sort of screams desperate hunger for success. It absolutely sets the stakes for his arrival, I think.
Oh, it absolutely does.
Yeah.
Look, the Jaguars pulled off a really significant deal with the Cleveland Browns. Trading up like that to get the number 2 overall pick, that's a major move. It's not a small jump for any player.
Yeah.
But especially for someone like Travis Hunter, the two-way star from Colorado, it feels like it signals a new, maybe more aggressive era for them. Like you said, this isn't just grabbing a talented player. It feels like the franchise making a foundational kind of statement. Mm-hmm. And the pressure on Hunter, you can just imagine it's going to be immense. Jacksonville fans are, let's just say they're starving for a winner. And now there's this huge wave of hope riding on this, Heisman-winning dual-threat phenom.
Okay, so you've got this massive investment. Unprecedented, really, in a player with his unique skill set. Then, like you mentioned, Trevor Lawrence, the face of the franchise, steps in pretty much right away. He did call Hunter one of the hardest working guys we have, which, coming from your QB1, that's high praise. But then he immediately followed it with that pretty stark warning, didn't he, about the commitment needed to learn the two systems and handle that massive playbook. What makes learning the two systems so monumentally hard at the NFL level? Is it just the sheer amount of stuff, the volume?
It's way more than just volume. It's about something we sometimes call cognitive load, just the sheer mental processing power required. When Lawrence talks about the two systems, he's hinting at, fundamentally different ways of thinking on the field.
Yeah.
On offense, right? You're thinking about complex checks at the line, audibles, anticipating route adjustments based on what the defense shows you, how your blocking assignments change. You're focused on timing, creating space, exploiting opportunities. It's proactive.
Okay. And defense, then. That's got to be just a completely different mindset, a whole different set of mental muscles, right?
Exactly. Precisely. On defense, you're reacting. You're reading formations, diagnosing plays instantly, knowing your responsibility in all sorts of coverages, man zone, pattern match, hybrids. You're trying to recognize run or pass keys in a split second. You're basically trying to destroy the opportunities the offense is working so hard to create. It's kind of like, imagine trying to be a world-class concert pianist and a world-class jazz drummer at the same time in a live concert. Both require absolute mastery, but the rhythm, the focus, the improvisation needed, they're just fundamentally different. So to expect a rookie, doesn't matter how physically gifted, to truly excel at both, especially when the playbook for just one side of the ball is already like a graduate level course, you're asking for something truly unprecedented.
Wow. Yeah, that analogy, that really hits home. It's such a dose of reality, isn't it? Because you hear two-way player, and your first thought is just how cool, how revolutionary that sounds. But Lawrence isn't just talking about the physical grind, which is obviously huge. He's really pointing to the monumental mental demands that come with trying that in the NFL. Hunter is, clearly a generational talent, a unique physical specimen, no doubt. But is it even possible for any player, even him, to really translate that two-way dominance from college to the pros, especially when, like you said, the pro game is it's a whole different beast, a whole new level of complexity and speed.
You've absolutely hit on the critical point there. Look, the NFL has, over decades evolved into a league of extreme specialists, and there's a reason for that. It's precisely because the complexity, the speed, the strategy at this level basically demands mastery of one specific role. Think about the very few guys who've genuinely tried to play both ways in the, let's say, the modern era. Deion Sanders, maybe briefly. Charles Woodson. They almost always ended up having to focus primarily on one side of the ball, usually defense, because the sheer demand just wouldn't allow for sustained elite performance in both roles. It's just too much. So Hunter isn't just battling the physical toll, he's actually fighting against decades of professional football evolution that's pushed relentlessly towards hyper-specialization. To do both effectively in a game that moves so much faster with bigger, stronger, and frankly smarter athletes across the board. It's a challenge that really goes beyond just having amazing physical gifts. It's unprecedented.
Yeah, it almost makes you tired just thinking about it. I mean, I can barely remember my grocery list sometimes. So the idea of mastering two separate NFL playbooks, it's kind of mind-boggling. So when Trevor Lawrence comes out and says pretty openly, it's a lot on a rookie, it's challenging to learn everything, and he's done a nice job, and we still have work to do, that really lands differently now, doesn't it? It suggests he sees the enormous task ahead for Hunter, even with all the talent, all the hype.
It absolutely does. Lawrence isn't just tossing out some generic rookie warning here. He's speaking from a place of uh, deep understanding. He knows what it takes to succeed at the highest level in this league.
Yeah.
He's subtly, maybe not even that subtly, highlighting that Hunter, despite all the incredible college success and his unique abilities, is stepping into a completely different world. And yeah, the support from teammates seems to be there, which is great. But the path to actually translating that unique college talent into genuine two-way dominance in the NFL, well, it's paved with immense learning curves.
Okay, so as we kind of wrap up this deep dive, the core tension seems really clear based on what we're seeing and hearing. You've got Travis Hunter, this incredible, unique physical talent, proven two-way ability in college. But now he's facing these, well, monumental physical and mental demands of the NFL, which, as we've discussed, is just undeniably a whole different level of rigor compared to college ball. And Trevor Lawrence is let's call it a crucial warning about really committing to learning the two systems, mastering that huge playbook. It just hammers home the sheer scale of the task ahead.
Absolutely. And what makes it even more fascinating, I think, is Lawrence's own background, right?
Yeah.
His experience being a #1 overall pick himself, facing enormous pressure from day one. That definitely frames his comments. It really makes you wonder, what does it truly take for such a unique talent to make that leap to the highest level, especially when they're trying to manage these unprecedented dual roles? It's a huge question.
Yeah, and for the Jaguars, this isn't just about one player, is it? It's about this massive wave of hope, maybe even desperation, that's now riding squarely on Hunter's shoulders. So, thinking about Lawrence again with his own journey navigating those sky-high expectations, you have to ask, could this public warning be more than just a dose of reality for Hunter? Could it also function as, say, a protective shield? Or maybe even a strategic message from the team leader, setting expectations for the league, the fans, everyone?
That's a really interesting angle.
Yeah.
And maybe the bigger question this whole situation raises is about the future. Does this specific challenge Hunter faces, trying to balance two incredibly complex roles, tell us something profound about where elite sports are headed? Are we going to see more multi-talented athletes try this? Or is the trend towards specialization just too strong? Is Hunter truly the exception, the one-off unicorn that actually proves the rule about needing to specialize at the highest level? Lots to think about there.